Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm William Hall Auto Interiors. We do automobile interior. And what we're doing today is a 1955 Chevrolet car seats. This is the springs of it. We've already did this part right here where we put the foam on it. We did the spring bed up under here, shaped the foam. I think that was did we do it in another video, West, or did we put it on video? Can't remember.
I don't remember if we did the foam in the one or not.
Yeah. But anyway, what this is just a piece of foam, and we shaped it and made it round around the edge. Put these little pieces of burlap on it to hold it, and we just turned this up under and glued all the foam. So made a really nice looking foundation to put these seat covers on. So we're going to take this out of the way, and we're going to sew up this. We started yesterday in the video, so we're going to start sewing this seat cover on. And we're using some of the old patterns like what they had back in the 50s. This seat had 3 different sets of seat covers on top of it. And that's the way people used to do it. Was back then they would take the car to an upholstery shop, and they would take the vinyl and stuff, and they would just wrap it over it, and the customer was gone. Hold on just a second. All right, I'm back. So what we're gonna do is the way this right here, Wesley, turn the camera, Wesley, show. This right here is the way it was done back in the 50s. They just had this sewed on here. It was plain, man. That was some pretty material back in the day. You can look on the underside and see how shiny it was. Well, it was that shiny on the top, and you can tell where it was sewed together right here. That was really, really shiny. Just looked so good. It was like not none of this dull stuff like today. Grays and depressing colors, but they was really nice back in the day, in the 50s. This right here wasn't a bright white, but what we're gonna do is we're leaving this. We're gonna put this on, and I'm gonna make the cover to where the cover goes around this edge right here just a little bit. I just think it would look better if this rolls over the edge just a little, and then we'll put the bead down here. So if anybody's sitting there, that bead's not gonna hit them right behind their legs. It's gonna be kind of down a little bit, and it's gonna give that pleat a little bit like 1.5 inches to roll up the hill, and it's just gonna look better, I think. So that's what we're going to do. I made it just a little bit longer, maybe 1.5 inches longer. I hope that's going to be enough. We got to come right in here and cut this out for the hump, for this hump right here. So we will wind up cutting this out. And I'm probably going to go ahead and stick the material up here before I ever sew it on. And that way we can just cut it out. I cut this piece right here yesterday, where we have this, that is lined up. I got a V right here, and that's the center bar. So where's mine? Goes right about there. Where's my piece there with?
Marker.
Okay. Yeah, my marker line. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna come right here. I can take my finger and feel around the edge of this metal where that goes. So I can tell right where that metal is on the bottom side. Okay. So I'm gonna cut this right here halfway, and then I'm gonna fold it over to make sure that my pattern is exactly like on both sides. I bought these for $1 when Advance was going out of business. So they're pretty sharp. They're not the best, but they are pretty sharp. So I'm gonna fold it right over like this and make sure that my pattern is exactly like the one on the other side. And you see, I might have been just a tad off, but just from my side, but I'm gonna come right here. Okay, so this part is the center cutout right here. And I think I had a little piece, didn't I, Wesley? Was it this? I think this was it that I had cut out for that. I did that yesterday. So we're gonna take this, and it was just a little small piece that I'm gonna sew around there. Got to sew a bead across the front. And I wanted to match this top part right here, because that's what we made the ones yesterday out of. All right, you got my little, is this it?
We got several.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of pieces. We don't want to have to seam it. We can, but we don't want to. Just gonna cut a little bead here. Even back in the 50s, if you look at that cover right there, they put a top stitch on it. But we're not gonna put a top stitch on this. For all those that don't know what a top stitch is, that's where you fold the material over and you just put a stitch right on it. And it actually helps to, it's like double stitching it. So it's just folded over and then you go back and it's made to lay it down. So you see right here how it's all laid down. That is so hard, it will break. It should be from 55. What is that, almost 70 years old?
Yeah.
They made stuff so much. It's just so much classier. Nowadays, it's so bland. Who gives a care, you know? Who's gonna want to fix up a 1997 or 98 car nowadays? It's plastic, and these people growing up nowadays ain't gonna have nothing to fix up.
Well, you know, back in the day, they had the vibrant colors on the cars.
Yeah, it wasn't this dull, depressed looking colors. I mean, it's like nowadays they had chrome back then, real stuff, like really metal. And nowadays, all they got is some plastic that's going to crack in 2 or 3 years out in the sun. All right, Wesley, hand me that piece over there. I got my little V cut in here. You always start in the center. So I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna pull this down, find the center mark. There's my center. If you're not familiar with sewing a lot, you might want to take and put this up here and put your little mark here, a mark here, a mark here, a mark here, like that, to where you can kind of keep up with it. So I'm gonna come right here, right here. Come right here. When you're sewing this right here together, what you want to do is you want to keep one more stitch. You want to keep it lined up in the center, like where I put that notch right here in the center. You want this piece right here in the center. Because if you come over here, if just say it's 1/4 of an inch over here, when you get over here, it's going to be 1/2 inch. That's the reason it's really important, because you don't want it lopsided. Like, if that makes any sense, I want it to you kind of understand why I'm doing it and what I'm doing to it. I don't think I got some of this bead here, but I don't think that's long enough. No, that ain't. This is called listing. The last listing that I bought was like, what was this, about $50?
Yeah, that roll you got in your hand.
Yeah, this is like $50 here. And it only come in 2 inch. You know, you really don't want to have to cut it down every time you use it. But here I am having to cut it down. So I'm cutting a little bit off of it. Wesley gonna help me to speed me up. And I got a pile over here up under me, so every day we sweep that out. Start over. Okay, so that's about as long as I need it right there. And that's gonna be to fold the this piece right here under. Going. This is really strong. It's must be what, nylon, maybe. Is it strong? Kinda strong. Nothing's great anymore. They don't make stuff in China. That's what the president's China. Everything's made to kind of like resale, not last that long. All right, so I'm gonna take and just sew a strip down through here, and then I'll sew this bead right here on. Take and put my little bead on here. What's that?
I think it's that Mustang leading from over yonder.
You want to make sure that you're putting this bead right here on really straight. You don't want to be up and down. So you want to make sure that you hold it in place like with your fingers, just so it don't move. Because sometimes it can move up or down just a little bit. So you want it to be really straight. And you don't want to run out of your bobbin and keep on going like I just did. It would be nice if you had a continuous bobbin where it wouldn't run out. Back in the 50s and 60s, would have wire in it, and the 70s. Don't do that no more. What was it, Wes?
They're gonna come back by. Somebody's monkeyed with their headliner, putting that starlight stuff in the lights in the headliner.
Yeah.
And it has come down in places, and they don't come back by in a couple hours or so. Let you look at it.
Get you halfway right here.
It's a late model Camaro SS or something. It's Alan Slade's young. That's what he said.
So if you're sewing this together, always make sure that you make the allowances that you need. That's going to take if you're sewing a half inch up, and this is a half inch, then you know that you got to have an allowance of an inch inside inside the cover. Always make sure that you stay in the middle, like right there where that V is. I got it marked right in the middle. You always want everything to line up. If you don't, this right here, it's got to line up with that notch that's kind of notched out in the bottom of the front of the seat. All right. So now I'm gonna put this on the seat because the original cover is when we put that foam on it, that's a little bit thicker. I'm thinking that it may have altered the that had latex rubber on it, and it might not have been as thick, but it had these holes that was about as big as a nickel up into it for a cushion to make it cushiony. And if air gets to latex rubber in that many years, it just makes it hard and brittle like a graham cracker, and it will break and crumble everywhere. So we changed it and put polyfoam on it. So we're gonna come around here. We're gonna start cutting on this piece of cover. All right, so you see I got a pretty good ways to go down here to this. And the original one was up here, like this. Like right there at the edge. But it don't look as good right there at the edge to me. So I wanted to roll it on over. That's why we made this back here a little bit longer. So we're gonna pull it down, and I wanted it to roll over like this to where it just made the cushion look like it was thicker. If that makes any sense. All right, so we're right here in the I can look right here and tell that this is the center right there. So that spring right there is in the center, so I just come straight up above it. There's my center mark right here. See? Right there. So we want to try to stay all centered up because these lines right here on this seat need to line up with the lines on that back seat that we did yesterday. All right. So here we are. We're lined up. I'm going to come right here. This looks like, if you look, it's right here at the edge of the frame. You see what I'm looking at? This is at the edge of the frame right here. So the piece that I got cut for that, which is this real good pattern, I'm going to use this and wherever I put them, right here. That's the pattern that I cut out of it, was this piece. So I made this a little bit long right in here. So being this is down here like this, and the seat cushion's up here, it kind of goes in at an angle right in here. What am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to cut that in. Just like this. All right, So I took that much off of it all the way down. That's about an inch. But this is angled right here. So what am I gonna have to do here? I'm gonna come right in here. I want this to go down in here just a little bit. Just like that. That way it goes down just a little bit. And I'm gonna do this side over here exactly the same way. I'm gonna slant it up to an inch. Oh, hold up. All right, then I'm gonna come right here. Hold on, right. Then I'm gonna come right here. And I'm gonna cut this out. Exactly the same way as I did the other one. So that's just a line. Then I'm gonna sew my tail on. Just 1 second, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, everybody, but you know, we are a working shop, so we kind of got to stop and go. We're gonna put the tail on here, right here, and I'm just gonna sew a loop in it. We're gonna put a piece of wire in here, and that right there is what we're gonna anchor this to. You could just, I've seen it for years and years and years, but people would just take and fold it over and just hog ring it. But we try to do a little bit more professional job than that. So we take it and sew it and put a piece of wire in it and anchor it and make it look more like it's a factory job. I'm not knocking whoever don't do it this way. I'm just saying we do it this way. It's easy to do. So you can just fold it, put your wire in there. These pieces right here, they were also folded. I made them a little long. They had a piece of listing. It looked like listing on it, so. I'm just gonna fold it with a second piece of wire in there. Part of it anyway. And that's the way you do it. You just fold it over, put some little relief cuts going around the edge. I got a feeling that this cover is going to be a little bit tight with that foam being so thick. Because we did put some good density pad in there. According to the original cover, this right here was just left open right here. And I'm thinking that they just folded that around. Hand me that cover right with you. Right there. Some pieces that I didn't cut out was these pieces right here because we hadn't cut these out according to the seat yet. And I didn't know how big they had to be or anything. But we will put some in there. Anybody got any questions, Wes? We got anybody watching us? About 4?
9.
9. I appreciate y'all 9 people watching.
Hold on. Let's see if I can pull up the only comment was Mike Daniels. He's just glad to see that you're back at it and finish it up today.
Yeah. I just folded this down just to put a top stitch on it, just to make it lay down. I don't want it going back the other way. That means this seam right here going back the other way. I want it to go straight down. Believe it or not, this could have a lot of pressure on this right here because we're gonna have to do a lot of pulling to get it down. This right here, I'm gonna have to take a piece. You see that it's curved right here. It's just curved. All right. So the piece that I'm gonna have to make is just gonna be a straight piece like this right here. Because once I sew that in that curve, it's gonna make that piece go straight down. That's all I need is a small piece like this.
You want the smooth? I got smooth.
Oh, this is fine. All right, so them 55 seats are kind of tall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this thickness right here. I didn't even measure it, but I know that it's pretty thick right in here. This has got to go down. It's got to go down. Let's say right about here. This is gonna go down hill like this. So we're gonna come right in here, just like this right here, around. I'm gonna curve this just a little bit. Well, this piece is actually for the other side, but I got a piece right here I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use for this side. I'm gonna show you how this. All right, we're gonna come right in here, and it's gonna go just like this, up. I'm gonna come right in here, and I'm just gonna sew this piece on, just like this. And I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. Sew me a little loop right here. Y'all ain't tested none of this. But if it don't do just right, I'm just gonna take it back apart. But I'm hoping that this right here is gonna be kind of what I need. From an eyeballing standpoint. I'm gonna take this. It's gonna be down just like that. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna cut this right here, same length as that, and that should go down like that and give me enough to hook. And I'm hoping that that's gonna be just right for this going down. This is a little longer. I'm gonna come right in here and I'm gonna sew my sides on, and we're gonna try it out and see. I might test fit it before I get to that point just to see if these. Matter of fact, let's do it now, Wesley, before I even sew this other side on. It's always good to know exactly what you got going on before you get to that point. All right, we want it to hang over. It's got to hang over like that. Here we are right here. So that is going to fit like that. This is going to fit like this. And I think that's got it right there. So while I come up the side, I'll put what they call a boxing. I'm going to put that on. Matter of fact, I might test that. Let's test this boxing right here, right now. All right. Now we took this boxing off of the other seat. That right there. This right here is not going to work. This. This piece, I think it was made to kind of go around that right there in the back like that. This ain't gonna work. So I'm gonna have to make a new piece right here.
Hello, Jane.
What? Watch me, Jane. This ain't for. This is an extra piece of it. Yeah, check this out, Jane. I'm doing some eyeball work here. Okay. And I'm just looking at it, just trying to make some chicken salad here. Okay, right there, and right there. Cut me a little bit of an angle right here. I know this ain't the right way to show y'all exactly how to do this, but it's there. Okay, here we go. Right there, right there. This is my pattern right here. So I'm just gonna make these patterns right here.
Yeah, William's a little freestyling right at the moment.
Yeah, don't pay me no attention right now. I know I'm supposed to take a piece of paper and do all this kind of stuff and show everybody, but really, I just don't have the time right this second. Okay, so here we go. That's my pattern right here that I should have had to start with, but I didn't. So we're going to pretend like you didn't see that last part. We need 2 of these. Okay, so we're going to take this. Sometimes when you put that foam on there, it alters the pattern so bad that it won't fit just right unless you do something like this. You know, you got to make it fit, so. Okay, we got our pattern. So what do we need to do? Now we're back on track. We're gonna come right in here. You see that bead right here? Watch this. We're gonna come right in here. We're gonna put our pattern up here. Just like this. We're marking the bead. That's where I want it to go. You see it goes all the way down here to the bottom. I'm gonna put a little listing on there. Come right here, put this little notch in there so we know it's there. We're gonna take the other piece. Come right here. We're gonna notch it. Now, we know this right here will work. That piece that I put on, we know that'll work. So we're gonna come over here. And I'm gonna sew this piece. We're real close. We're real close, so just bear with us. This. Come all the way around here. I need it that long right here.
William, you had some people teach you this, you know, to start off to kind of help you, didn't you?
No,
You're self-taught.
I'm self-taught.
I thought you had somebody help you with the Corvette seats.
No. Oh, when I first started.
Yeah.
When I first started, a lot of people don't know this story, but I actually started out as a welder. So, and they had dripped some stuff on my back at the chalk mine, and I had to get my seats redone. So whenever this guy, he said, "Hey man," he was an older man, and he said, "Hey, if you'll come over here and bring your seats and help me take them apart, what I do is I'll do them for you, and after that, I did my own door panels and my dash and stuff like that, and we I just started from trial and error. So my brother-in-law, he got me a sewing machine, and it was just a Singer sewing machine that did not have a reverse on it, so I had to tie all my ends by hand. And that's actually how I started, with just trial and error, you know, starting from scratch, just learning every little, having to redo it, take it apart, redo it, take it apart, redo it. So I just learned, just like all of you that are learning without somebody like me now telling you or showing you some of the do's and don'ts. But he showed me one time, and I watched him real close one time. And after that, it was all trial and error, because I didn't have somebody sitting here saying, "Hey, this is the way you do this," giving me a shortcut. I wish I had it.
Jerry asked, how do you distinguish between good vinyl for automobiles and cheap vinyl?
Sometimes it's the price, but it's a lot of time it's an expanded vinyl that's a little bit thicker, like a Naugahyde or something like that. And I've got some stuff that I thought was real good before, and it was expensive. But whenever I put it on the guy's car, in like 2 years, it was like flaking off. They call that FAUX, Fox leather. It comes from China. And it is really, really bad. And all these people with these motorhomes spending $300,000 and $400,000 are sick because their seats in them are just falling apart.
Everybody's probably seen a recliner at home that has peeled off the.
Yeah, that is Fox leather. But an expanded vinyl like this, Naugahyde, you see the thickness of it. Instead of that fleece vinyl that's got that real thin layer on it, that can be some cheaper stuff. Hey, they even used a lot of cheap stuff from the factory. It didn't hold up. And when I say it didn't hold up, it didn't. It was like really bad. All right, so that's where's my starting point right here. I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna mark it on off of this one to this one because both sides are just alike. Hey, get you a sewing machine. Take your time. It's not always gonna work out. Take your time. Do some simple stuff. I'm gonna sew that. I got some right here. I just happen to have this right here, so it's long enough for these pieces. I'm gonna sew this along the edge right here on the bottom. I might even have to thin that right there out a little bit, Wesley. There's a lot of guys that's online that teach real good. It seems like better than I do, but because they got all day, to sit there and do this one little bitty project and make that video perfect. They do pretty good.
Jane said you'd have to visit her overseas to fix her mess with the sewing machine.
If you do upholstery work for a long time, you'll learn how to work on the sewing machine and all kind of stuff. You'll just have to. Where do you live at, Jane?
United Kingdom.
United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
United Kingdom.
And it's late in the evening.
There. You know, there was a guy from England. He bought the sun visor off of my car out there, and I went to get it back. He owned a castle over there. He collected the sun visors off of old cars, and for some reason I don't know why. But when I went to get that thing back, he said, then the guy, I could have got it when I got the car, but he said, man, it looks so much better without it. But I got to looking at the inside, and I said, man, that thing saved the inside of this car. I want that visor back. So I went over there, and he said, oh, man, I done let a friend have it. I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, darn, can I get it back? He said, I call him. That joker wanted $400 for that sun visor. I said, man, $400? He said, yeah, man, they're worth a lot. I said, really? He said, yeah. You know, I had to give him $400 for it because it was designed for my car. I didn't know if I'd ever be able to find another one like it.
Jane is 60 miles from London.
Huh?
Jane is 60 miles from London.
Is that right? That right there's a little low right there, Wesley. Okay. This happens. I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to show you something. All right. You see right here? I am about 1 inch from this bead. I want this split right here on this bead. I could take and move it down, but you see where I notched it right here, so I'm pretty close. All right. I'm going to show you how to fix this without taking it off. I am having to undo the stitches, so just kind of bear with me on this. The thing is, whenever you do the other side, you need to remember exactly how you've done this right here. All right, I'm pulling the stitches out. When I was learning how to sew, that Helen from Georgia, I don't know if y'all ever watch her, but her name is Helen from Georgia. When I was learning down in the other shop 40 years ago, she's the one that actually showed me some stuff about sewing because that's what she done. So she sewed. I told you my notch was lined up right here, and it is. It's lined up right there. That's kind of where I put it. Come right here. All right. Now I'm pushing this piece right here just lightly, and I'm going to pull this piece right here lightly. Look at that. That's coming undone. Let me resew this. Where I cut it off and didn't double stitch it back when I was over there trimming it for the seat. Okay, that's got it, so it won't come undone. All right, so remember how far we were over right here? My sister, Helen from Georgia, taught me that little trick. So I'm gonna show you where my notch is after taking it apart. I had to take it back, but that's an inch, you know. So I wanted the notch right there on that bead, and that's where that notch is now. See? Right there on the notch. So nice. It's all the way around. It's lined up right here. I got it notched right here, right where I put it to start with. Never took it all the way back. Just started over. So now I'm gonna take this piece, and this will tell. This right here will tell the tail on. I'm gonna sew this right here back because that's just a raw edge, and I don't never leave them raw like that. So I'll take and sew that back in just a minute. But we're gonna come right here, and we're gonna see if my if this rigging that I did is gonna work. I cut this side right here too. All right, give me just a second. When you cut these seams like this, and you've seen me sew around these pieces of material whenever I cut the stitches, and that's the reason is to lock that stitch right there in. So now we're back to square one again.
Unraveling.
Huh?
To keep it from unraveling.
Yeah, it does keep it from unraveling because you want that right there really tight whenever you sew across it. You don't want those stitches showing. You don't want it pulled down in a gap right there. And you want this right here. You don't want it pulled back this way. You want it to go forward. And this is just going to have a single stitch right here, just like it is on the back. Right here, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna slice it right here just a little bit. I'm gonna come right here, and that raw edge, I'm closing it up. The guy that picked them Corvette seats up yesterday, he had some Corvette door panels, some 1979 door panels in his car, and he wanted me to do them. But he said, I have a lady that's gonna do them for $200. So that I want to put that on video when they come back, and I want to see what they look like. I told him, I said, if she does real good work, I want her to come to work for me. All right. You see my mark right here where I'm lining it up? All right, there's my mark. Lining it up right there in the center. This is going to be really tight to get it around here. Because this foam right here is kind of firm. I think it's a little bit, maybe a half inch or so taller than what it was to start with. So what we're gonna do is we're fixing to take and we're gonna put some wire in all these little places like this right here that I sewed, these little loopholes.
Yeah, keep your knife in your pocket today.
Yeah, I cut Wesley yesterday. He thought I treated him like Carl treated Doyle Hardgraves. All right, go on back with it. You got a way to shut that off?
Uh-huh.
All right, this is what we're doing right here. I'm gonna show y'all that. Y'all see this wire we got going here with Wesley? All right. Huh?
Long enough? You want some more?
Yeah, let's cut it off right there. Y'all know that wire right there is all twisty every which way. But if you take it and you put it in a drill like this, like that, and then you take it and you spin it like this. All right. That right there makes that wire just as rigid. I mean, that's a hard piece of wire now. I mean, it's pretty hard. So, all right. So Wesley's gonna cut us some pieces. All right. Start putting it in the Wesley. Put it in. Oh, let me put it in right here. We'll cut it off. That wire brush got me on my thumb the other day. They can fold that edge over. Slide that in. Believe it or not, we got through a lot of wire. Because we put it in almost all of it. If it didn't come with it, we try to put some in there.
Cut that down a little bit.
There's some cutters over there. This goes on the sides. There you go. Your side. This is my side. It's closed up on this side.
Good on mine too.
Is yours closed up real tight? Like it's hard to get it in there?
We'll have to cut a little slit and get it to go in there.
All right. We're going to put a piece going through here. Hopefully this right here is long enough. All right. I'm going to put a piece in this. Put a piece in here. Put one more piece on the other side. All right. Now, this is the tail that you know. This tail's the tail right here. All right, right here. Got it lined up. Got it lined up. I wished it was hot weather outside. We could take and put it outside.
The heat gun's right there if you want.
We might heat it up just a
You
tad.
have to plug it in right up under it.
Here we go. It's always good to give it a little bit of heat. It's kind of cool weather out here. It don't take a lot of heat, but it does make vinyl act a little bit better. You don't want to get this too close, it will burn. All right, that might be good enough, Weston. All right, Weston's gonna hold his hand in his, pull it to the edge, Weston. It's supposed to be hanging over a little bit in front. Got it? And that's it.
It needs to be cut there. That's on a little sharp.
We're gonna cut that bead right here just a little bit. I don't have it. Pull it down. That's it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it over. I could have put a little bit. I could have put some in there. I might have.
I got another piece back here if you need a small piece.
All right, we're gonna turn it over. He's got me some hog rings. All right, here we go. What we're gonna do is line this. I think it's pretty much lined up. It's always good to line these up first in the center. I'm looking at this and let's make positively sure, Wesley, that it's lined completely up. All right, we got this bead. We got this right here. That's lined up. There's a center mark on the phone. There's a center mark on the cover. So it's lined up. We're going to come right in here. We're going to cut this. And I'm going to put this piece of wire. This is really going to be kind of tight, I feel like, so it needs a wire in it. It'll just pull right. The hog ring could easily just pull right through here. Cut this off. Cut that off. Don't want to scrape nothing. So here we go. Oh, that ain't as light as plastic. We're gonna come right here. I might pull that right there on down there, Wesley. But we do have it lined up, so we know that it's in the right spot. I'm gonna come right here to keep the cover from moving anywhere. And I'm gonna put a few in here so it don't move. As tight as I'm pulling that, final just would not hold it. It would just pull right out. Golly, is that gonna hold? Nope. It's so rusted. It's just rusted away. So okay. We'll turn it up like this. Start putting these hog rings in. Don't it look better whenever it's neatly done, like it's made that way? We'll go back and snip them little pieces like that off. I really hate that one right there is gone, but it does have, look at that. This is the kind of ash that you get into working on some old stuff that's just wore slap out. All right, this one's broke. This one's broke. See, this one's broke. Let's see. What can I do? What can I do? Have we got any really short screws? That's one that's holding. Hold on.
What do you look for?
Zip ties.
They're in the toolbox. I've got them little short screws up front. One's self-tapped and one's not.
Only which one it's in. I'm sure I know where it's going.
It's in.
When all else fails and you ain't got no other way to anchor it, you gotta put a, I don't want to, but you know, I ain't left with a whole lot of choice. He don't want to spend no money on actually fixing all this, so. There's a zip tie. Okay, maybe that'll hold. All right, let's finish putting it on. We're gonna see what it all looks like whenever it's all said and done. And it won't take but just a few minutes, really. I'm rubbing it this way to make a little bit of slack in the cover, take any wrinkles or anything like that that's in it, take it out. Which I don't think it's got none in it, but I mean, you got to rub it to get to it, to make this go down. Oh, okay. So here we go. This has to go all the way down to here. Keep your fingers crossed. Come on. Okay. I don't know if that needs to be hard ring. That don't actually have to be. And I don't know if that one's actually got to be added. Neither. That's good. Okay. There we go. Come over here. Man, that's tight.
You got one more back there.
Huh?
You got one more back there that needs to be trimmed.
Where at?
Comes up right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
When you pull that cover, sometimes it makes the wire show as it pulls it down. They're better on this side. That other side must have had the window down. Kept the seats wet all the time. Got it. Here we go. We got to pull these pieces all the way down to here. It's almost on, so we're about ready to show what it's looking like. Okay. All right. I see it. Nope. Nope. It ain't it. Right here in the very front. You see how this right here is showing? Right in here. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't supposed to be showing. So what I'm gonna have to do is I got to take up a little bit more and pull that really hard to where it don't show. It's not gonna take a whole lot of rings to do it, but you don't want this right here. You don't want this looking like, you want this right here hidden like that. It don't matter if it's just a little bit over the edge. You can't see it from this side. Man, that is like, missed it. I could actually catch it up there on the top, up here. Right there. Right there. See? All right, we got to take them wrinkles out. This is how you do it. You got a few little wrinkles in it, like where this right here is. I'm gonna show you how to get that out. But while we're watching, while we're letting that heat up, let's look at it and see what it looks like. Man, that is tight. And we got it to where it's leaning over the edge, just like we was talking about, where it looks like the cushion from here to here is thick. Like this much is cushion, instead of it being right up here on the line and it looking like it's just like that. So we got that look that we was looking for. And back in the old days, they did have cars like that. It was like really thick cushions and stuff on them. So this right here, when he puts that in that car, and somebody, it just gives that an optic illusion of, man, that's a thick cushion on top of the seat. That's got a lot of pad in it. Man, it looks like that. You know what I mean? All right, when this right here, this is making noise right now, but when this right here heats up, it'll quit, and it won't take but a minute. I'm gonna pull this over the edge so I don't get water on my table. But you see this little bit of, can they see that right there, Wesley? That little bit of wrinkle right in there.
I don't think I can get it. Where?
Well,
Right. What?
Look at it right there. You see it now?
Yeah.
That little bit of wrinkle, we got to get that out. And this right here is the tool to do it with. This steamer right here. Take it right out. How's that with? All right. If you look, you can tell that all that's gone. All that little bit of wrinkle is gone. Now you see right in here where that right is kind of like that. Back in the 50s, these corners would just be, they'd have a glob of cotton just stuck up in there. It was like just like 2 or 3 handfuls. We don't have no cotton, do we?
Well, it's up in the storage right there.
We got some, but it's up in the storage. But hey, I'm telling you, all this right in here would just be filled up with cotton. It wouldn't have no. That's only its purpose, was just to kind of fill that out just a little bit on these old cars. So probably, to me, that's like kinda makes me feel like it. Putting newspaper in the bodywork and then putting Bondo over it. But
A patch or a band.
yeah, but really and truly, to fill all this out on the sides, they packed cotton in the seat. It was in the front seat. It's in this one. And the onlyest way to try to actually get it out is to do that, is to put it right back in there like they had it back in 1955. And I almost burned the car up like that one time. I was working on a 1957 Chevrolet, and I was welding some stuff in the floorboard, and somehow, I don't know how I done it, but some sparks got in there. And 3-4 hours later, I smelled something. I said, my God, what is that? Because we'd done finished welding and stuff on the floor. We'd done put the carpet and stuff back in. And I said, you smell something? And Tom said, I smell something. I don't know what it is. So I touched the seat just happened to put my hand on the seat, and it was hot. And we pulled the back seat out, and I guess one of them sparks got up in there where all that cotton was packed. And I just happened to touch that seat. It burnt his car up. But luckily I touched it. We took the seat out, turned it upside down, and we got some water and put the water in there, and I pulled all that cotton out because it smelled real bad. And then I put brand new cotton and stuff back in there and got rid of all the smell. So be careful welding on some of these old cars that are full of cotton. Anyway, we try to do this video on this 1955, let y'all join in while we're doing it. So sometimes it's later in the evening, maybe 12 or after before we start on one, because we got so much stuff that we're doing there during the day. And if you like what you're seeing, if you like coming in and watching us in this shop, give us a thumbs up and give us a like, a comment. I try to go back and answer the comments. And I don't think I have a bunch of viewing base right now, do I, Wes? Probably because I don't know how to edit. If I knew how to edit them and make them look really good. But this is raw. This is without cutting, so you get to see it all. Anyway, thank y'all. We'll see you next time.
I'm gonna show them the other seat if they didn't see the other video yesterday.
This is the one that we did yesterday. It's the backrest to the 55. He basically told us that he wanted it to look like the Bel Air kind of design with a little V in the front. So we put that back in there. And the front seats, we're going to do them the same to make them match the back seats. I don't know when this guy's coming to get them. I think it might be a week or two. But anyway, thanks a bunch on watching. And we will make another video next time we work on these seats. Let y'all join in. Thanks so much.